so many DMs about this situation that I had to stop what I was doing. I had to put down the very important things that I was doing to sit down and make.
Is it from 1993? I thought it was later. Like I thought it was 2000.
This is an emergency video, folks. Literally, like 90% of my DMs have been about this for the past 2 days. So
Should we do an old Mario movie night at some point?
Merge Mansion, the game whose ads I've made a few videos about, has gotten Pedro Pascal.
Is this?
I am making this video.
Is this for fucking
real? You all
real?
know that
Merge Mansion is Pedro Pascal?
Merge Mansion ad. Actually, he's in 2. So you guys probably remember I made a video on this channel
Is that
about
real?
Merge Mansion in the past, and then I actually made a second one on my second channel. That
Merge Mansion is printing money, if that's possible.
Bates to play the live-action version of the grandma in their ads. If you don't know, Merge Mansion is like this home gardening fixer-upper type game.
It's none of that. It's match 3. That's what the ads are. The game itself is just match 3. It's freaking Candy Crush.
You're doing gardening and stuff like that. But then also, all of the ads have this like murder mystery element to them, and I don't know if the game has that in it. I still refuse to play the game. I'm not gonna play it. I don't want these ads to work on me, all right? My mind.
The game is just Candy Crush
today, okay? I'm not falling for these ads. I see ads like this where a company is trying something fun and exciting, trying to shove their game down my throat, and I say no. I'm not falling for this ad.
Man, I should make a freaking Candy Crush clone, honestly. Have a soulless Candy Crush soulless Candy Crush game that just like funds all of my other game projects. Murder Mystery Twitch Edition, yeah, but the gameplay is gonna be Candy Crush, and that's gonna fund all my projects. It's gonna be the cash cow.
The ads now. It's called a twisted game.
Honestly, I don't even know where to start. On the surface, you've got this perfectly normal family.
Okay, so this ad introduces a new character to the Merge Mansion lore, which I am a little bit familiar with, honestly, more familiar than I would like. So what I know so far is that the granny has murdered somebody. I cannot figure out from the ads who she's murdered, and I don't think that it's even answered in these ads, honestly. She's murdered someone, and then her granddaughter, who is the younger woman character in this game, is like slowly uncovering clues to what's going on. Now we've got Pedro Pascal in here, and he's playing Detective Tim Rockford, and he's come in to try to crack the case open.
On the surface, you've got this perfectly normal family. A young girl, her grandmother. You know, this is Apple Pie America.
A girl and a grandma. That's Apple Pie America, baby. Nothing more American than a girl and her grandma. Sorry, Europeans. Sorry, anyone anywhere else in the world. Actually, I don't know why I singled out Europe. Sorry, anybody anywhere except for America. You can't relate to apple pie or grandmas. We made them up, and just like everything else in American culture, it is starting to kill people. Please help.
It's like everybody is hiding something.
There's no body, no smoking gun, just a lot of knives.
See, this is where it loses me. The whole ad is framed as a trailer for a not real movie or TV show where Pedro Pascal is trying to figure out what's going on inside this home. I'm not sure what this lady is. I think it's like maybe a true crime podcast. So now we're not only getting like an investigation into the case, but we're also getting someone to comment on it. And then you guys are also getting someone to comment on both of those things. I like the true
And then you guys are getting someone who watches that person comment on both of those things.
What confuses me most is like, what do you mean there's no body?
There's no body.
Can you please explain to me what the crime is that you guys are trying to solve? Was someone
The crime is
murdered or not?
mobile
Say
advertising
it one
for
time in one of
children.
the ads. Say who was
That's what the
murdered.
crime
Smoking
is.
gun, just a lot of
The
knives.
murder is the video
No
game
murder
industry.
weapons, unfortunately, just a shit ton of knives. So unfortunately, nothing suspicious has been found yet. Just a freakish obsession with knives, and not cooking knives. These are knives that are sold to be weapons.
There's no body, no smoking gun, just a lot of knives.
The fact that she's like, there's no smoking guns, it's just knives, makes me think that by like no body, she also means like, we can't find a body. The only thing we found is this skeleton. Super confusing. I'm worried that people are gonna think that I'm like sponsored by Merge Mansion by continuing to make videos about Merge Mansion. I'm not, okay? I'm not gonna play this game. I would be lying if I said that my curiosity wasn't piqued at least a little bit by this ad, because I'm like, who died? Who died? And how did they die? How is knives is not evidence. There's knives everywhere. They find them on every surface in this house. That's not evidence? Is the investigation to figure out if there even was a crime? Can you call 911 to be like, hey, a crime happened. Can you come figure out what it is? I don't know.
I mean,
I've been a victim to some
people
sort of
do that
injustice.
though.
I'm not sure what.
We'll call
There's knives
911 for
everywhere. Please
everything.
come. That'd actually be an insane new genre of YouTube videos. You've heard of BuzzFeed Unsolved? How about BuzzFeed Unfound? We haven't even found the crime yet, let alone solve it. Okay, here's the next ad. It's called Think Like a Grandma.
I was finally in, but still couldn't put the pieces together. What am I missing? Crime scene? Weapon?
You're missing a crime, I think. I still couldn't put the pieces together. What crime was I solving? What am I doing here? Who is this girl and this grandma? What is
Everybody
my
has
job?
dementia and they play
Grandma
Candy
had to
Crush.
think like a grandma.
They play Match 3
Shit, okay, so
to
that
make
looks
sense
like
of it.
evidence there. A boiling pie. So maybe there was a crime committed. I admit it. Maybe somebody was murdered.
The
and they
boiling
came in
pie
and-
visual is
Good
actually
ol'
really
apple
cool.
Pie America, you know? You got loving granddaughter, murderous grandma, and pie grandpa. Nothing more American than that, baby. God bless America.
Think.
Another thing you'll notice is that Kathy Bates is not the grandma anymore. I don't know who that lady is, but that's not Kathy Bates. So they, I guess, could not afford to hire Kathy Bates and Pedro Pascal at the same time, which would be a pretty crazy
Hold up.
collab.
Not sure if it was Angry Bird or some other game, but didn't someone remove one of their older games because the game didn't have microtransactions and it ate into the profits of all the newer games that had I mean, I don't know, but was it Angry Birds? The first Angry Birds did it have? I don't think the first Angry Birds had microtransactions, so you might be right. Removed because no microtransactions. Is that a real thing? Angry Birds Classic will be removed from Android because it doesn't have enough microtransactions. It will be announced this week. I mean, fair. I think I've seen some videos on YouTube like a week or two, but can't remember. They did remove like one of the, but also like that game was so old that at this point most things won't support it anyway. Like it was definitely like it came out on iOS version 1 or 2, so it was really old. But yeah, that's fair, I guess. I think the original Angry Birds used to cost 99 cents. So it makes sense why it wouldn't have microtransactions. Whereas the newer ones are free and they have microtransactions. So I'm assuming the 99 cents price tag wasn't profitable for them. But at the same time, I guess they still make Angry Birds.
I guess it's probably not called collabs when it's like a movie or an ad.
I'm assuming a bunch of people have done that. Because older games on mobile, especially the ones that like cost like 99 cents to $1, they usually didn't used to have microtransactions.
Like who you are. You shapeshifter. What are you?
Think. What would Grandma do?
He doesn't know the crime yet. That's why he's saying, what would a grandma do?
To be very honest with the state of like mobile games right now, microtransactions aren't even like the bad part of it. The bad part of it is games that are essentially billboards for ads, where the gameplay is not actually front and center. The real goal of the game is for just you to watch ads, and that's how they might have microtransactions, but they make most of their money because of ads inside the game. And so the gameplay might just be a dude walking and you have to press a thing, and then the goal is that you pressed a thing, so now they can show you an ad. And that's the entire game, and you do that over and over. Most of these games have really like bright colors, or they'll feature some like popular character or whatever. The gameplay is minimal, and they're marketed because they have bright saturated colors. They're marketed towards kids on their iPad who will just click, download anything, play it a little, might understand how to play it, might not understand how to play it, but that's why the gameplay is supposed to be simple. So literally it's just one touch gameplay where you can just play it with one finger. That's how like a kid on an iPad would be playing it. And the goal is that they would play it, an ad would come up, and because they don't understand how to close the ad, they will click the ad, and that's how the game makes money. and a high majority of games do that. That is, I think, the worst part of mobile gaming currently. Microtransactions aren't even like that bad anymore because of that. Like, I've seen some video on YouTube like a week or two ago, but can't remember, one finger gameplay when you don't even have a free full hand.
Crimes would a grandma commit? Tax evasion?
Like literally the target audience for mobile games these days is 3 to 6 year olds.
Where literally nothing is going on, and so he's like, I'll put police tape up at some old lady's house and harass her. Sure, what the hell? Just try to figure out what crime she may have committed in her past. That's a cool little touch too, where it like turns into the video game graphics at the end there. And this is an homage to one of the earlier ads too that I covered in the first video. Anyway, either way, some pretty insane marketing. People have been talking about this nonstop, at least in my DMs, and I've seen people talking about it on Twitter too. And also this ad from 4 days ago has 7.4 million views, which is pretty crazy. All of their other ads have like maybe 20 to 60,000 views. So getting our boy Pedro in there really pushed the ad. Now, a lot of the discourse that I've seen around this ad, both in DMs and otherwise, have been people being like, there has to be something fishy going on. How did they get Pedro Pascal in their ad? How did this random shitty game get
They have a lot of
Pedro Pascal
money.
in their ad? For example,
Because they probably run ads during the game.
Next time someone asks me what my favorite conspiracy theory is, I'm gonna tell them that I think the Merge Mansion is a money laundering operation. Because how the fuck can they afford an ad with Pedro Pascal in this day and age, in this economy?
Controversial opinion? They do make that much money.
Even Candy Crush
Yeah,
had that kind of
probably.
money. What is going on?
Candy Crush for sure had that much money, and Merge Mansion also for sure has that much money, dude. I hate to break it to you, but mobile games make a shit ton of money. How much money does Merge Mansion make? Currently, the game earns more than $10 million per month from its players. So far, the game has bagged more than $160 million. So they make $10 million a month. How much does Pedro Pascal make? Okay, for The Last of Us, Variety reported that he earns $600,000 per episode.
This is for The Last of Us, not for a 30-second mobile ad, which is probably cheaper. So they can easily afford Pedro Pascal.
Merge Mansion definitely has enough money to hire Pedro Pascal without being a money laundering scheme, which a lot of people in the comments can attest to. This person said, listen, if you've played Merge Mansion and are addicted, you'll get it. They're constantly pushing buying things, but not enough for me to stop playing it. So they make a lot of money from their players, and I'm guessing based on the 7 million views they got on that ad by just posting it for free on YouTube.
This is the bad part of video game addiction, by the way. Like, people talk about video game addiction, but the people talking about video game addiction never touch this point, right? Like there's like, okay, you know, they're becoming antisocial because they're playing video games, blah, blah, blah. There's that discourse. Then there's the discourse of targeted mobile games that are short and are literally designed to be addictive so that you would buy microtransaction stuff. That's the actual bad part of video game addiction, where it's targeted to, and it's usually marketed towards people that wouldn't normally be core gamers, wouldn't normally be playing core video games. Like, they wouldn't be loading up freaking, I don't know, what's a core video game? GTA? Like, people who are playing Merge Mansion probably aren't loading up GTA on their computer. But you will see more people talking about, oh my god, my child is addicted to GTA and becoming antisocial or whatever, while they're playing Merge Mansion on their phone. And possibly purchasing a lot of shit that Merge Mansion is pushing towards them. And basically conditioning them to buy that stuff to progress in the game because the game is addictive. And that's like the bad part. That's like the bad psychology part of video game addiction. It doesn't get mentioned at all.
Need to put it in the Super Bowl or anything. Like, I'm guessing that they're gonna get a good return on whatever investment. I mean, he makes $600,000 per episode of a TV show. I'm guessing they probably paid him less than that for a 1 minute long YouTube video. If you want a real conspiracy theory, here's a real conspiracy, dude. For The Last of Us, he earned $4.5 million. My conspiracy is that Pedro Pascal is actually a huge Merge Mansion fan, and while he made $4.5 million from The Last of Us, he spent $4.6 million on Merge Mansion upgrades. He's in immense debt to Merge Mansion, to the grandma herself perhaps even. And when Merge Mansion caught wind that Pedro Pascal is the owner of the account that owes them $4.6 million, they said, hey, listen, we'll wipe out all your debt for one measly little commercial. Actually, two measly little commercials. And what could Pedro say? But, okay, fine, I'll do it. I bet he took the job because it was funny. No, I bet they paid him. I bet he took the job because they paid him a shit ton of money, honestly. I like that people's only
it could be both.
Are like, this is a money laundering scheme, or he took it because he's funny. There's no way.
Could be both. They paid him a lot of money and he thought it was funny.
Paid an actor to act. Danny Gonzalez is gonna have a field day with this. I mean, they're right, dude. I am over here having a field day.